Pittsburgh Steeler fans, welcome to this week's episode of Steelers Touch Down Under. I'm Matty Peveril with Marky D, Marky Davison, as always. How are you going, my good friend?
Mate, if I was green, I would die.
I don't know what that means.
I'm blue. I'm blue. Da-dum-dee-dum-dum.
Oh, please don't edit it. So some breaking news. They cut William Jackson. I think they cut, what was the other guy? Platel, the other cornerback.
Carlin Patel? Is that right?
Kalen Platel? I don't know.
Kalen Patel?
I don't know. Depth piece of cornerback for them. The NFL free agency is happening. We're less than a week or 4 or 5 days away from the new league year starting. Things are happening. In the AFC North, Baltimore traded Chuck Clark to the Jets for a 7th round pick. I thought he'd be worth more than that. Anyway, they got to clear some cap. Maybe they do want to keep Lamar. But yeah, it's kind of, we saw the transition tag there. Whether Lamar stays or goes will be interesting to see from that perspective. But yeah, Mark, how are you feeling going into this free agency frenzy?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Like, they made, 2 moves today? So I think 2 cornerbacks. I do find it kind of odd, though, the whole situation with William Jackson III. They signed the guy last year and didn't play at all, did he? You know what I'm saying?
No, and look, he had that back injury, he was going to be out for a couple of weeks with Washington before he moved. He was with Washington, wasn't he? I think so. And then before they moved him, and then so Washington were like, he's going to be unavailable. So Steelers trade for him, and then if he gets healthy, he might help us down the stretch. Fine. I don't hate the move, because if it had worked, I think they had a lot of, especially with Witherspoon's injury. I honestly think that they needed some help there at cornerback, and if he'd been able to play, he would have been an upgrade on a couple of guys that got in that position. I don't have a lot of belief in James Pierre, so for me, I was cool with that. But you're at no loss, because at the end of the day, you can cut him and save a bunch of money there. So I don't think it's an issue at all, to be honest.
Just kind of odd, though, to see a player sign and then nothing happened, and then next minute he's gone. So I don't know.
It's a bit like Carl Joseph.
Exactly.
They fall in love with these guys in the draft. They don't get to draft them, and they bring them in as free agents, have a crack, see if they can fit something. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if William Jackson III, there's no market for him. They brought him back on a couple of $1 million deal really late in this process. Do you know what I mean? He might still be a Steeler if he gets no offers elsewhere.
Yeah, so cut him now and then bring him back if
maybe. I mean, why not? Particularly with the cornerback rumors it's shaping up at the moment. But also, you're not going to keep a guy no one was thinking that they the live chat Steelers need to sign Lamar Jackson. Absolutely no, we don't. But yeah, it makes sense for the Steelers to cut him anyway, because at $12.1 million, it's a lot of money. We can use the money elsewhere. And you look at other teams that have cut guys, Jacksonville cut Shaquille Griffin. He's going to cost them $13.1 million. Miami's reportedly going to cut Byron Jones, both of those, and he's, I think, at the 13 to 15 million mark per year. Both of those guys are a lot better than William Jackson III. So I don't know why you wouldn't keep William Jackson III on that money when you can get one of those other guys. Dick Sucker in the live chat says, bring Juju back. I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, you got to be careful with that name, Matty.
Yeah.
I can't believe he gets away with that name.
Yeah. But yeah, what were you going to say there? I think I cut you off.
I was going to say, so pretty much they're saving themselves, $12 million for when they cut Jackson.
Yeah.
They cut him.
Yeah, there's nothing. Okay. There's no loss there. That's it. It is what it is. So
yeah, and then that makes sense. And then bring him back at a lower price if they have to. So they were minus in the cap, minus $1 million or something. So
yeah, but I did that show a couple of days ago as part of our War Room series, and the adjusted cap brings them to $229 million. So then you cut William Jackson III. These things, I think people should be a little bit less worried about what the cap is today. Worry about what the cap is in a week or two's time, and then even then things are going to move around. So I wouldn't get deeply stuck into the cap, particularly as well because ultimately there's certain dates they've got to have meet certain requirements. There's a lot of contracts that can be restructured. They want to see how free agency goes. If things are falling their way or they think they're in for players, then they approach a guy like a TJ Watt or a Cameron Hayward. I would assume that with the contracts they can restructure with Minka, TJ, and Cam Hayward, they were already having conversations with those agents to say, hey, if we want to make certain moves in free agency, this is what we're going to restructure your deal to be. And the players don't care. They get the money up front. Like, it doesn't affect them, like, particularly because they've already got paid their bonuses. So, like, it's more cap manipulation. The good thing, I think, that Steel fans can take from the last week is that there is $5 million more in the cap for the Steelers because of what carried over from last year. There's $26 million that they can make, including the $12 million, from William Jackson III, that they can bring to the cap. And there's like over $30 million that they can get from restructuring contracts. So ultimately, the Steelers have best part of 60-ish million they can acquire for free agency, or the draft this season.
How many million do we get? Do we get any millions of dollars?
I wish we got some millions.
Are we part of the cap?
But you know what's interesting? I'll just say this before we get into some of the things we want to talk about on the show. And RU Goat says bring Bud back. We talked about that in our Mad Monday show this week. And I think I'll stick by what I said. It depends what he's wanting to come back for. But a 1-year deal could be really good for him. But one thing I thought was interesting when I was listening to, I think it was yesterday in the US, Move the Sticks, Bucky Brooks, Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network. Love that show. Have done for like over a decade now. Bucky was talking about, and he referenced the Browns with Deshaun Watson. And it's something that people don't think about very often. When you sign a player for a big money deal, your franchise has to have that money up front, right? So when you sign a guy at $200 million, your franchise has got to stump up $200 million. And I think that's very interesting for some of the teams like Pittsburgh, where teams and like owners aren't necessarily super liquid where they can put that money there up front. So that's going to be a really interesting thing for the Steelers in a few years' time, assuming Kenny Pickett is the guy. And I think he is, because there's a lot, like, if you actually look into the finances of how the Steelers get their funding, a lot of it is through tickets, merchandise. The Rooney family get a lot of money through poker machines and horse racing and those sorts of things. And there's rules about finances there and bringing them into sport. There's also rules about taxation in terms of those sorts of things and the financial rules. It gets pretty technical, but basically it's harder for the Rooney family to be liquid than some of the other families that own, NFL franchises. So it was kind of an interesting point that you forget about. We all just assume as fans, hey, you want to sign that player? You got the money, you can do it. Yeah. It actually doesn't work like that. But good to see Frosty the Bear 69 in there, and Steeler Girl 808. Welcome. Steeler Out West is saying watching and listening while driving. Hopefully we're helping your drive home from work or drive to wherever you're going. But yeah, Mark, I guess anything from there that you wanted to pick apart.
I like the comment between Daredevil and Frosty saying don't sign him, and Jed saying go get him. So I like that comparison. Because I'm happy with either way. It doesn't overly bother me. If he does come in, 1-year deal, fantastic, come back and go and hammer the quarterback and be a part of the defense. But if he doesn't, we've got TJ and Alex Highsmith, and I'm all for the team, man. Like there are some key players I would like to see come in or get re-signed and stuff like that. And we're going to go through that today. But I'm all for back on the team and see what can happen. Like I think anything now with Kenny Pickett and this rookie deal and this young offense, I think we have some high hopes in the season.
Well, we can do the Jalen Hurts thing, right? And Bucky Brooks was talking about that on the same podcast. The other thing I'll give Steel fans, which is some bad news for us, news, right? Because they'd started doing some training. The coach that Alex Highsmith, Ogunjobi, Hayward work with in the off season, which is tremendous, like helped Highsmith. Hayward took Highsmith along to that coach. He's so they're this guy they work out with the off season that's kind of very helpful in Alex Highsmith, doubling his sack count basically. He has joined the Baltimore Ravens as their outside linebacker coach. That's not good for the Steelers.
Great. Bloody Ravens.
Yeah.
I
So that's
reckon
one that's gone under the radar. Most people might not see that, but that's actually a bit of a big deal. So
bloody Ravens. I reckon we'll get more wins than them next year, to be honest. I reckon we'll beat them again twice. I think we have their number
Still
right
808 before we get into the Steeler free agent says, what would you guys think about signing Slay? I wouldn't mind him, but there's a lot of money tied up there, and there's a few, as I mentioned at the start of the show, like Shaquille Griffin, Byron Jones. There's a few guys there that I'd probably go after. Byron Jones is, I think, a year older than Slay. I think it would depend on the money.
He's the Lion guy, right? The Darius Slay, is it?
Yeah, but he played for the Eagles.
Oh, I thought he played for the Lions.
No.
Oh, okay, my bad.
He did before that, I think.
Oh, he did before. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But the Eagles, everyone's saying they're going to get a defensive lineman like or Luke Van Ness at 10. They're probably going to get a cornerback, so they want to get younger at that position. So all right, well, everyone's talking about Sutton, so let's get into the segment. So yeah, Mark and I
waiting.
Yeah. We're bringing back one of our favorite segments. It was brought up in one of the comments on one of our recent videos since we started the new channel. And it is Spin the Wheel. Everyone that is a longtime fan of our show knows we love Spin the Wheel. So what we're going to do is, and there's actually some really corny sound, so we're going to play that in the first one. We're going to spin the wheel, and then Mark and I are quickly going to go keep, cut, consider, and we're going to do our best to work our way through all the Steelers free agents and restricted free agents, so unrestricted and restricted free agents. So, Mark, I'm going to spin the wheel, and then we can talk about...
I just want to say, firstly, that I tried this on my own channel, a series of spinning the wheel to try and knock down 32 teams. And a lot of my viewers over there and the mates over there, they know that I gave it my best shot, but I did it 22 days in a row, and then I was like, I was over it. So don't do the wheel 22 days in a row.
Now, I'm going to need you to keep me up with the live chat, Mark, because I can only see this one in front of me. So you keep me up with the reactions here. All right, we're going to have the sound on the first time because people have got to hear this corny sound. It's like a 1960s game show. Spin the wheel.
Oh, boy. That's new. It's terrible. Oh, what a good one to start with. What a good one to start with. Yeah, woo! Keep it. We love the sound.
It's there. All right. So we've got Steven Sims. Mark, keep, cut, consider.
Oh, keep, man. 110% keep. I like Steven Sims. He's also, you can be your third or fourth receiver. Get him some reps there, and I think he can be your punt returner. I think they keep him. It would be silly to see him walk, because you see him walk, then you have a problem at punt return and kick return yet again. So I know he dropped a few last year, but he was better than Olszewski. I say keep. Is Matty, you there, Matty?
Yeah. I'm just going to spin the wheel on my side because I don't think the internet's going to hold up.
Oh, we can't hear it anymore. Oh, bugger.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries.
Yeah.
What do you think? I think keep.
Yeah, I think keep. He's a restricted free agent, so you put the tender on him, and then if someone's got a trade for him, then it is what it is. I love Frosty the Bear. He says Friday night drink time. See, at least if I don't share it, I can actually keep up with the live chat. So that's helpful there.
Well, we got the first one. We got the cheers, and we got the sound.
Yeah, we got the cheers. We got the first one. We did we did it. It is what it is. I'm still having a war with StreamYard, the platform we stream from, on getting them to fix their stupid integration. I don't know how a platform, when I've got 150 megabits per second download speed and 50 megabits per second upload speed, can nerf me when I share a screen. But anyway, that's my rant for the day done. All right, so we will now spin the wheel again. I'm getting the sound on my side.
You want me to make the noise?
Yeah. Oh, we got Cameron Sutton. We got Cameron Sutton. There we go. Everyone in the live chat wanted Cameron Sutton. What are we doing? Everyone? Mark, what are we doing? Live chat.
Okay, look, I know the money side's going to be different, but for me, for Cameron Sutton, I would also say keep. Right? I know you can go and get another corner out there, but I would say do your best to keep this man in a Steelers uniform. It's another problem the Steelers have at cornerback. Keep Cameron Sutton.
Right.
That's what I would say.
So what I would say there, I don't know if I'm sure you caught my show the other day. When it comes to Sutton, We paid him $4.5 million last year. He delivered value in terms of his production. Probably delivered a bit more because it's PFF production. He delivered about $8.5 million worth of production. So what would you be comfortable with the Steelers paying him?
100K. Just joking. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. You're asking the wrong guy. I don't know anything about draft, nor do I know about money. All I'm saying is like,
I'm just saying, like the Steelers paid him $4.5 last year. He had production
maybe like 8 million
because
$8 million, $7 million a year, something like that, maybe. But I know that Omar Khan is a wizard, so that he can figure that stuff out. But I think for the football team, like you got to bring him back because you don't want to leave a hole there. You know, if he goes and plays somewhere else for bigger money, sure, you know. But I'd probably say around $7 million a season, maybe.
Yeah, right. Okay. I reckon I'd be happy with that, and maybe 7 mil, and then maybe you give him like 1.5, 1.6, bonus.
Whatever's fair, really. Like he's still got to be fair to play. Obviously, if he doesn't want that, he'll be like, "Oh, you're going to give me less money. I'm going to go somewhere else." But
what they should do is do like I reckon a 3-year deal, and you give him a roster bonus on years 2 and 3, and do it that way. Where as the cap goes up, you pay him more basically.
Yeah, 3-year deal would be great. And then at the end of that, do you keep him after that? We don't know. But I think right now the Steelers need a player like him just to round up the depth because they haven't. Who do they have at cornerback? No one really.
Well, we got Wallace Witherspoon. I mean, I think they're going to cut Witherspoon, but he's not a free agent. So I'm obviously for keeping Cameron Sutton. It's just about what does the deal look like? How does that shape up? But I'm sure Sutton will want to stay.
I reckon the Steelers, to me, look, it's going to happen in a few days' time or the next week or so. They're going to try it as hard as they can, I think, to get a deal done for Sutton. It's same with a lot of these guys, but it depends how money rolls out. But for me, playing Madden franchise, I bring him back because I like the way he plays.
See, the thing for me as well that I think is kind of interesting with him is like, if he was a bit better, you'd kind of transition tag him. I mean, you're not going to pay. I don't know what I can't remember what the transition tag's playing for cornerback. It's probably like 13 million. You're not going to do that for Sutton, but let's say he was worth that. You'd do that and then see if a team wanted to trade out for to give you the draft pick compensation to get him.
I really want to play Madden now because it reminds me of the contracts when you go into Madden and you can set their deal and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And when you're going through a season, you negotiate the deals. Now I want to play Madden.
I was playing last night and like I had to re-sign Mason Rudolph and he took less than he rejected a deal that I offered him more from because I wanted to keep him for 3 years. So instead I paid him $2 million less a year and kept him on a 2-year contract.
Did you put him on the bench too?
Yeah, he's on the bench. And then in free agency I went and signed Taylor Heineke. So
I saw one the other day on YouTube. They got Big Bender like 46 years old on 1-year contracts. And just keep going and going.
That's really hard to do because the Madden algorithm doesn't like that.
Yeah, he got him like to year something or whatever.
They stopped that because what they had for a lot of years with Madden was Tomlin would retire if he won the Super Bowl. And they stopped
really?
That. Yeah. So people complained about that because they were like, he's not going to retire after one more Super Bowl. Like,
just walking on top.
Yeah. So anyway, now it's like it's a bit different. All right, back to spinning the wheel again.
We've done Sims and Sutton.
Carl Joseph.
Oh, that's an easy cut. Or like let go, whatever.
I don't know why they were infatuated with him. He spent 2021 injured, 2022 didn't really do anything. I think this is silly. He wouldn't even be here unless we had before the rules changed around having veterans in the practice squad. So yeah, I'm a fan.
There was a lot of hype around Joseph, and he was a former Brown, right?
Raider. Oh, sorry, he might have played a year with the Browns. He definitely played for the Raiders.
There was a lot of hype when he came over. He's been injured a fair bit. You'd never see him on the field. Never comes up from the practice squad or whatever. He won't be. I don't think he'll be there. But what do I know? I'm just a fan. So, but I would say I would cut him. I don't see any purpose for him to be there with the Steelers.
All right, cool. I agree. Spin the wheel.
It's fun, isn't it?
Boykin. What do you think about Boykin?
Ooh, boy, I like Boykin. But it depends who can play gunner because we have so many receivers now. With like Anthony Miller, he signed a deal. You have Austin, you have Pickens, you have Deontay Johnson, right? You have Sims. So can you play two different roles? Can you play receiver and can you play gunner? You know what I'm saying? Like that. Honestly, I don't know. I do not know with Miles Boykin because can he? Do you need 6 receivers? I don't think
I'm
you
okay
do.
with 6 receivers.
But are you going to use him in the receiving game or just use him as a gunner?
Thing.
He's a good gunner. He's great.
I think it'll depend. Well, I mean, Benny Snell's on this list, right? There depends on who else they bring in. Depends what they're going to do at linebacker.
There's a lot of teamers on this list that they got to figure out.
There are, and Steelers keep talking about how they preference special teams. Although
I'd say consider. We can do consider, right? Keep, cut, consider. Yeah. I'd say consider.
Yeah, I consider. I reckon that's a good one. All right, spin the wheel. Derek Watts.
Another teamer, right? Another teamer / getting more involved in the. I think last year was Derek Watt's best year. I know he had like 7 carries, 6 first downs or whatever, a touchdown too. I think they'll bring him back. I think the way they want to play football now is a bit more run behind Najee and run behind Warren. I think they bring him back.
Are you happy with them rather than what you just think they're going to do? Are you happy about that when we've got Connor Hayward?
If he's getting first, well, that's the big question too. If he's getting
because Connor Hayward is a fullback. I don't care what anyone says. It's only in Canada's system he's a tight end. Connor Hayward is a fullback in the NFL. He's not necessarily a full traditional fullback, but he's just Swiss Army knife fullback.
Devil says keep TJ happy. I would, that's like the camaraderie.
So we'll bring JJ out then. Bring JJ out.
I'd say actually, I think I don't know if I'm happy or not, but I like he had more production last year. And I did like those first downs, to be honest. They were quite fun to see. Derek Watt, 4th and 1, hand it to Watt. He got over the line. There's only one time he didn't get it. I think it was. He didn't get the first down on the run.
See, I liked him. I liked a lot of his play at the Chargers, and I thought he showed a lot of promise for them. And they were doing a lot of.
I want to see him more on those wheel routes. Those receiving running back routes. I'd like to see him more. Force fumbles and stuff like that. I think the teams can do more stuff. Fumble footballs and that kind of stuff. So hopefully he can be more of a leader there.
I'm okay. He needs to take a team friendly deal. That's it.
So are you keeping him? Like
consider.
I'll put him as keep, but I think the Steelers are going to keep him because just the way the Steelers do things. They'll give him a 2-year deal or something like that. 2-year, $2 million, $3 million deal or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they probably have to pay him more than that. I mean, I also really like. I don't know. I can't remember the Ravens. I'm going to just quickly look it up whether the Ravens re-signed him or not. But I really like Patrick Ricard out of the Ravens because he's just a 300-pound fullback.
Yeah, he's a big fullback, and they use him the right way as well in their tight end sets. Or their running back formations.
But they also get him to run the ball occasionally. So. Yeah. The other thing I was going to say, the other thing I think that's out there as a narrative is like how the Steelers going to improve the red zone offense. And I feel like a fullback has a key role in that. And I don't think that's where I need to see more from Derek Watt, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of teamers on here. So yeah, do you sign Snell? Do you sign Watt when you have Connor Hayward, right? Why can't we have, I would love to see Connor Hayward run the ball, behind Watt or whatever.
I think that's how they're going to shape him up as like a 3rd or 4th depth piece into the running back position, and then he's a 3rd or 4th, or like a 2nd or 3rd tight end. I think that's how they're going to shape it up.
I just like him because he's a football player, and when I say he does, jack of all trades. He just loves to have the ball in his hands, loves to run people over, a bit like Warren. So, but yeah, for me, I think they keep Watt because of just the way it is.
Yeah. Okay. I will pull him out of the list, and then we move on. Jesse Davis. That's an easy cut for me. I don't think he's coming back. Did he even play last year? I don't think he even played. No. All right. Spin the wheel.
That was quick.
That was quick. See you later. Chris Wormley.
I think he's also cut. I think cut won't come back, right? I don't think he comes back. I don't see
I can see another team offering him more money than the Steelers, but it'll come down to whether he wants to move his family or not.
I think it was a very unfortunate injury near the end, and I think there are guys that can take
the thing is, and I back you on that, and I also think like he's gonna want money. Like he had like 7.5 sacks in 2021. Like he's gonna want within 30 to 40% of Larry Ogunjobi's contract, and I'd rather than bring back Ogunjobi.
Yeah, me too, 100%.
So
he's part of the list,
Yeah, well, all right. Well, we covered Ogunjobi. That was easy. Done. Sweet as.
Wow. If Trent is the Ogunjobi, I think they should bring him back 100% keep.
Yeah, exactly.
So on that line, but I just don't think there's enough room there for Wormley to be in that rotation. And to me, they're probably going to get younger as well at the draft position. You know.
Okay. Then I spun the wheel while you were talking. Then JC Hassenhauer.
Oh, that's one. This to me is in Marcus Allen territory. I don't know. I legit don't know. I don't, because they like him as a backup center. They use him that way. So
yeah.
But they always they brought him back the last, was it year or 2 years?
Yeah.
Behind center. It's a guy that they just seem
I would like to see him test free agency. If he gets nothing, you offer him absolute minimum, and then that's it. Like,
yeah. So I guess is Kendrick Green still on the team?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say as well with Watt. I saw someone like weeks ago in a live chat somewhere that I was watching suggest that Kendrick Green should be tried out at fullback. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
You know what? You know what's funny though, Matty? This is one issue I do have with the NFL a lot. They do seem to stay in their lane so much, or stick to the same. They never change anything. Like, you see a big center, you never see them really change positions like in the NRL that we watch, right? The game doesn't really. You saw it with the Miami Dolphins with a Wildcat. Fantastic. Then it got figured out. But why can't we put Green back there? One of the biggest bodies on the O-line, stocky guy. He would be fantastic to clear the hole at fullback if you trained him up to be a fullback. But they just don't seem to make
especially how he's pretty agile, he's pretty quick, like
right.
And surely he can take on a linebacker.
Yeah, cut Watt, and then but the NFL never does that. Like, they never, even like with like the hook and ladder play, you never see that really happening.
Look, the thing is, like, the thing that I loved this week at the combine, Anthony Richardson.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, right. But even like NFL scouts will tell you, and they're doing the rounds, they're already talking about it. Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks talking about it. If you want to play a game to win right now, you are drafting Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, or Hendon Hooker over Anthony Richardson. He's a project.
Really?
So to me, like, and people go into the whole. Remember, we had the whole Cordell Stewart thing with the Steelers. Like, I mean, I think Anthony Richardson could sit there and be one of the best wide receivers in the league, right? So, like,
he's an athlete. He's exactly an athlete,
right? And he can obviously catch the football. He's got ball skills, but like, can he throw the ball? Like, I don't know. Like, it's like when Terrell Pryor converted to wide receiver. He wasn't a bad wide receiver. He had almost 1,000-yard season or 8,001-yard season with the Browns, right? So, you know, I agree with you. You wonder sometimes about the versatility, but it's a very professional league. It's a very expensive league. Anyway, we're going to spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. All right. We have Terrell Edmonds.
Ooh, another one, you know, part of the secondary. I think as well, similar to Sutton, but I know the money might be hard to get everyone under the same, you know, contract and stuff like that. But I would like to see Edmonds back. I think he's a fantastic player. I like the way that he's so physical, you know. He's a big short time tackler, likes to get dirty. And yeah, I know a lot of people called him a bust at the first few years, but he's really carving his role. So if they bring him back, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I also think, like, hey, Brian Brown, welcome to the chat, mate. And Gene Smith, hey, mate. So, yeah, I think, to me, it comes down to money. Like, if you're paying 5 or 6 mil, happy with that. More than that, I don't know. I still want them to get younger. I still think there's, particularly with JL Skinner now injuring himself in this draft process, I don't know whether he'll be able to work out at his pro day. No, he tore something. I can't remember what he tore something. I would like to see them look at him in the 4th or 5th round. I would like to see them look at some of the tops. There's some good safeties in this draft and for the 3rd round. And I want them to get younger there because, like, ultimately we can't have 2 safeties that are like 30 years old plus. Like, I don't think that's going to work. Or we need to bring someone into that rotation. So
I got a question for you. Do you think Edmonds will want more, whatever the Steelers offer? Do you think he'll want more money because he had a good year last year and maybe might
Yeah, but I think the Steelers will actually offer him more money. I don't think you can sit there and think that he's going to get 2.2 million or whatever he got. I think it was 2.28 last year. He's a $5 million player, and I think you spend that to keep him. And maybe an incentive late in it as well.
I wonder too, though, if like some of these players want to go to other teams anyway for a new, like, new challenge, or they just want to stay at home at Pittsburgh.
But I mean, if you were Terrell Edmonds, would you? I mean, the Steelers overdrafted you. They didn't actually overdraft him because he's delivered more production per year than the average safety does that's drafted in the first round, going back any safety drafted 2012 to 2019. But the other thing is, like, they've stuck by you the whole time. You know, they didn't pick up that that fifth year option, but they did like bring you back when not necessarily anyone else was going to. That made sense. It is your home. You know, you have played really well there. Steals a half a shot at maybe even bringing in his brother if the Bills don't retain him.
Maybe.
So, like, look, I don't know why you'd want to leave. And also, you get to pair up with Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Yeah, right. Minkah's Minkah's the best safety in the league right now. Hands down, and we often forget how we got that trade from the number one, and it's like that is fantastic.
But I would like to see them get a safety that's like even quicker than Terrell, and Terrell's an athlete that they can build at the strong safety position, and like Terrell, bring him down into the box, man. Like, that's what I want to see.
You've been playing that on Madden, haven't you? You've been putting him.
Yeah, no. I actually got rid of him. I traded him in the season. I just played for Isaiah Simmons.
Okay, but you make sense. You make a lot of sense though. Why not bring him? Because they do that anyway. You know, what do we run? We run the forgetting the 4-3, right? Yeah, 4-3.
Yeah, no, 3-4.
Sorry, 3-4. No, we don't. We run.
Yeah, we do 3-4.
No, it's 4-3. It's 4-3, man. We got the 4 linebackers, 2 middle linebackers, 2 outside linebackers.
Yeah, but it's 3-4. It's the other way.
Which way?
It's
3. This way. 3. Oh, I'm trying to think. On top of my head, it's 3. Yeah, 3-4, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So we're on that. But even when you watch the game, though, right? My point was when you watch the game, you see different packages all the time. You know, nickel.
Yeah, and the thing I think is think you need 2 strong safeties in this league to play against the best teams. When you've got like, I know the Patriots didn't make the playoffs so much, but the Patriots, the Baltimore, San Francisco teams that use wide receivers and that use as running backs, and teams that use a lot of tight end play. You need 2 strong safeties that are fast, that can shut down the tight ends, that can shut down the wide receivers that are going, spreading it out wide, doing wheel routes, those sorts of things, jet sweeps, that sort of stuff. You need quick, big safeties. I got no issue with having 2 or 3 big, fast safeties.
Yeah, I reckon they'll try and keep him if they can, if we can put it that out there. So I'm happy.
Do we have time for 1 or 2 more players?
Yeah, I was gonna say I got to run soon, man. I got to go.
You got to run. You got to play pickleball. We got time for
play
1 more player.
Yeah, we gas bagged too much about what.
I know. You got to be careful when you use that word with Americans. I used that on a work call the other day, and people were like, "What the heck does
what gas bag?"
Yeah, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does that mean for them?
Yeah, I think someone thought I was talking about some type of drug, and another person was like asking me lots of weird questions. I'm like, no. It means like spitting. I gave the analogy of spitting CO2 out into the atmosphere, like you're just like talking crap. But let's
do 2 more, and then we'll start doing our final.
Yeah, we'll do 2 more. We'll do 2 more.
Oh man, that's funny.
James Pierre.
He's
a restricted free agent, remember, so they got to tender a deal to him, and it will be over $2 million.
Yeah, there's still so many though. I feel like the Steelers would they'll bring him back. I'm not against. I thought he played pretty good.
I don't think he's worth $2 million a year.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, but I thought he played pretty good last year.
Share Temple. Yeah, bit of the Laramie Tunsil, mate. Bit of the Laramie Tunsil.
What do you think? Because I think this is one where the Steelers might bring him back because they normally do with those kind of
players. I think they're gonna bring him back because they know him and he's good and he offers the most value. I don't rate him. I never have. I'm just
Not even on teams or anything like that.
As your 5th cornerback, maybe, but I don't want to pay a 5th cornerback $2 million. I want to draft a guy that we can build that's got promise.
Yeah, but it's one of those ones where the Steelers would just they'll bring him back or keep him there or something. Right? It always happens.
Look, I do get the idea of experience and snaps helps, but yeah, I don't know. All right,
so there's one player we can't have on the show. Him and Marcus Allen.
Oh my god, if we get Marcus Allen next, that's a quick one. That's just cut. People got a bonus player. Oh, it almost landed on Marcus Allen. Tyson Alualu. I think he's going to retire. So I think that's a quick conversation.
Yeah, Alualu retiring. But let's end the discussion then with Allen, because Allen's a funny one. This is one that
I spun the wheel while you were talking. It's Robert Spillane. It's not Marcus Allen.
Oh, you want Spillane?
Yeah, don't override the wheel.
All right, but I'm just saying, like, let me get my point out.
This is the wheel of free agency, man. The wheel of free agency.
I got a point with Marcus Allen. I was doing it, and I couldn't figure it out. This is one where he's injured. The same kind of thing. The Steelers are bringing back just because.
I don't get it.
Well, but that's
they paid Marcus Allen more than Terrell Edmonds last year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and when I was doing my show, I think it was with you on Britsburg and one of you blokes. Anyways, we found out that he's never had a difference in the play of like a pass deflection, fumble, nothing. Tackle for a loss. I think he's got 1 in 4 years.
He's done 0. Bye.
Yeah. But this is the one I think with Marcus Allen, I'm like, I can't figure it out. You know what?
You can't bring Marcus Allen back and keep Miles Killebrew on the roster.
Oh, you can't have both.
Why?
Yeah. What they did last year. So we're all about
what's this? What's this mean?
Oh, that's what I was doing on my stuff. So Brian Brown says the wheel on the Super Bowl is a bunch of horse excrement, right? So I was doing that on my every day where I ran the wheel every single day trying to find it.
I like it. That was I like those ones.
You can try it next year.
All right. I'm going to spin the wheel one last time, and then that's it.
All right.
That's it for this show. Benny Snell! We got Benny Snell, the gunner. We talked about him a little bit before. I think he's a restricted. No, he's in the UFA.
This to me, all these are the same theme. Watt, Snell, Marcus Allen, Boykin. It's special.
They're all these like fringe depth.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but at the same time, they'll bring him back.
But it does go back to what I was. Remember what? If you did catch my War Room show, and anyone that caught that, remember from this week, I was talking about the value in getting snaps from players, and a lot of these guys, even Pierre, not Marcus Allen, but Pierre, Snell, these guys, when called upon, they do, and what they do provide what you need out of snaps, and they do provide a level of production that you can rely upon. And I think that's why some of these guys will be brought back.
Here's what I would do. I would cut Snell, see you later, mate. I would bring up like Master Teague or someone like that to be a third, or, use Najee Warren, use Connor Haywood there, running back. I wouldn't even worry about Snell. Yeah. I wouldn't even do anything with him. His time's up. See you later. You're not good enough to give you another contract. Pretty much. That's what I would say. And then do what Jed says.
Exactly. Yeah. They've got to grab a running back. There's heaps of guys late that they can bring in that'll be good value. Brian Brown.
Honestly,
football.
If they were to give him a contract, what would they give him? A 2-year deal or a 1-year deal for what? To be the third or fourth guy? To be a teamer?
For what?
I'm just saying.
But that's the thing. You've already got McFarland there on a practice.
Right. There's so many running backs there.
You've got Warren. You've got. Jeremy McNichols was in this list as being out. Fine, let him go. As you said, we've got Master Teague. Draft a guy late. Get another UDFA. Sweet as. And you know what? Wait for one of these there's veteran running backs out there. Like I think Mostert's going to get cut. Wait for one of these 30-year-old running backs that you can have. But I don't think the Steelers need to go down that route because we've got Jalen Warren. Like I just don't think.
All I'm saying is
I'd rather have Boykin over Snell from the gunner perspective because Boykin offers you more in the receiving game than Snell offers you in the running game.
100%. All I'm saying is like Omar Khan isn't running into the league office or his to Steelers organization on day one saying, "Where are you, Snell? Where are you? Let's sign you up." Like he's not the first priority. It's going to.
You know what? He's doing a snail down the walk. He's doing a Benny Snail. Anyway, you got to go to pick a ball, mate. We got to wrap up the show for the listeners. Thank you everyone for listening and engaging in the live chat. Good to see a lot of our regulars, a lot of our fans that have carried over into the live channel. If you like this show, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you liked it too. The bell icon will give you the notifications. We're also Steelers TDU on Spotify, Apple, and Anchor. I couldn't say that the other day. I kept saying ankle and merging them together, but I can't say it now. Have a good weekend if you're listening to us. And as Steeler Girl says, thanks, guys.